So PFF came out saying DeMarcus Lawrence was the Cowboys' most underrated player, which I don't really think he is. I expect a lot from D-Law. He was hurt a little bit last year.
Hang on a second.
What?
Lincoln Blake, we've never seen you in the chat before. He just says, I have a weed company. So we are totally open for sponsorships. Hit us up. Our boy AJ, who is in Vietnam right now, he
loves the weed.
He
allegedly
allegedly loves the weed.
And we'll actually do our commercial for you is we'll all eat the edibles in this locked up room. Enough that we're gonna be panicky.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna let it play out.
We'll live stream it. We'll live stream it.
We'll just live stream it. It'll be Cowboys CanFan. Does weed?
Smoke them if you got them.
Smoke weed every day.
Okay, sorry, we cut you off. We're on to some D-Laws.
Yeah, so
actually, you're talking about D-Law being underrated.
I don't think he's underrated.
Well, you're saying he's not underrated.
PFF is.
PFF is. Kahuna said earlier on, I posted it on there. I was going to mention it. I don't like to kick the flow out, but I'm going to kick it right now.
Do it.
So he goes, give D-Law some reps one-on-one on offense and put up a jump ball. That's
Hell yeah. Remember D-Law's fumble recovery return for a touchdown? Yeah. And that's when Schultz was basically blowing him on the side. Teach me. But yeah, D-Law had some moves. I would love to see D-Law, even at tight end, man.
Oh yeah. We're big D-Law fans.
Big D-Law fans. And I don't think he's underrated. I think D-Law, I expect actually a lot from D-Law. I expect him to be a all-pro Pro Bowler next year. I don't think he's underrated.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. PFF did this article by the Landry Hat.
Lauren Barash.
They're basically saying that Pro Football Focus recently released an article picking the most underrated player on every NFL team.
Oh, wow.
The answer for the Dallas Cowboys was a bit surprising. Although the writer did make it clear that the list was comprised of players who may get a bad rap over certain stats without looking at the whole, the choice feels odd. Sam Monson, a PFF writer, I love that they're just sewering this guy, believed that the player for the Cowboys was DeMarcus Lawrence. So and what this writer's saying is, and this is Lauren Barish, so why did the Cowboys wait so long to sign Lawrence to an extension? Why does PFF believe he's underrated? Because as an edge rusher, he doesn't put up good sack numbers. But he is an absolute beast against the run game.
Yep.
D-Law is one of those guys that you will not see him quit. If the guy gets past him, you'll see him and it's Leighton Vander Esch is a linebacker. He should never be running downfield trying to tackle a guy.
Never.
D-Law is rushing the quarterback, sometimes won't get the quarterback. A guy will get a screen and he'll get the tackle 8 yards downfield. Like, that's just a hustle play. Like, you can't teach that. And to me, I don't think he's underrated. I think he's a great leader, a great teacher, and I expect him to have a great season.
Okay, so AJ, who do you think? Okay, so actually, for both of you guys, then, if D-Law isn't the most underrated player, who do you think is the most underrated player?
Get these guys first. Get Nate and
Stephen White in the chat saying AB and LVE are the most underrated.
Fuck LVE. Sorry, man. Nothing again. I love that you're commenting in chat, but LVE just does it different to me. I can't like the guy. Just
the fact whenever LVE does something,
is not underrated. That's for sure.
I like the AB call though. I think AB is underrated. 100%.
We also have where is it? Tony Pollard is underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my guy is who I think is Tony Pollard. Now that's just based on a couple recent comments from people online that I see that just really fires me up when I see them say, and this is not a knock on Zeke, but they say, "Oh, Zeke is miles ahead of Pollard," and I just go back. I'm like, how many games did you watch? Like every time Tony touched the ball, he was getting first downs. It was wild.
So the crazy thing with Tony Pollard, I wouldn't even say underrated. I'd say underutilized.
Yeah, that's exactly what Mr. B just said.
Right? Underutilized.
The exact same thing
I think both of those guys could be on the field at the same time, but Tony Pollard needs to get the ball in his hand.
Yep. Jeez, are you all right?
Well, what's the definition? What's the definition of underappreciated? Is it
underappreciated or underrated?
Is it the fan consensus? Is it the stats? Like, what are we looking at here?
Well, I think it's a personal opinion, but in this article, they named 2 people, Jayron Kearse, who I actually was going to say, and then Tony Pollard. Here we are again. This is for Pollard. Here we are again making a case that Pollard is grossly undervalued and underused.
Zoom in for us.
I'm not zoomed in that much. There you go.
There you go, son.
Tony Pollard, where was I? And underappreciated. PFF themselves even graded him as a top 4 rusher in the league, despite being considered a backup on the depth chart.
That's wild.
He also had the highest rushing grade, which is 90.3 of all backs in the entire NFL. Yet Pollard is still set to make rookie money in 2022 and will likely start behind Ezekiel Elliott once again.
But he's the Prince Charles waiting for the Queen to
die.
Kicking over COVID.
While Lawrence may be underappreciated based on his sack numbers, it's hard to argue that he is truly underrated compared to others on the roster. His impact seems to be widely appreciated and ultimately known by both fans and in the front office, which that's how I kind of stand. Jayron Kearse, I think, is underappreciated.
Jose just said that. Yep.
Jayron Kearse. But trying to say guys outside of here, the Anthony Brown one, who said that in chat. Blake was his name?
21 Armando 21 is in the house.
What up, 21?
Yeah, Mr. B said Pollard is underutilized.
Yeah, he said Pollard was underutilized, but someone said AB. They thought AB was the most underrated.
Yeah, AB. And then everyone's now kind of going off saying Hooker might be another underrated player.
Oh, yeah. And he has and that's a good spot to be as a player.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No pressure.
Underrated is way better than being overrated.
100%. You would way rather be underrated than overrated.
Except for the money factor of.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
So let's actually play.
You're right.
Let's play devil's advocate here. And who do we think is the most overrated player? And this is to chat also.
Okay.
Who do we don't have any articles about this. So this is just pure CanFan original content. Who do we think? And Nate, you being an outside fan, I would love to hear who you think, because you're going to have probably a better opinion.
Well, definitely Ezekiel Elliott for me.
Zeke,
I mean,
give us reasons. Got to back that opinion up, son.
And I'll go with it. He could be a great. He's just overpaid for his production rate. I mean, you have Tony Pollard, and I feel same underrated and could just take over for Zeke. I think, as you guys have been saying in previous podcasts, this is Zeke's last year, I think, with the Cowboys. Guy makes a lot of money, production not there. So he would be overrated, but I mean, I think underrated for me, outside looking at the Cowboys, underrated for me is Dak Prescott, underrated.
I like to hear that.
But then I also got to say overrated for Dak Prescott at the same time.
Also two
as well.
Polarizing. Wow. You might call him polarizing.
Did you just multiverse that decision?
Yeah, he did. Nate Dogg's in the multiverse of madness right now.
Did Dak Prescott just disappear off the planet?
It's the only universe I can work within, I guess, is the multiverse. But
I like those answers though. The Zeke thing, I am a big Zeke fan.
Okay, so if you're because someone's saying something about overpaid, I don't know who they're talking about there, but I could
Zeke.
When we say Zeke and Dak Prescott, do you think Zeke and Dak Prescott are both overpaid?
I think Zeke overpaid, but not overpaid at the time. I mean, when he was running and he made that deal, that was. But it's just, for me, running backs are just like receivers. It's like, holy, why the fuck are you giving them so much fucking money?
You can find one
in
18 of the first 26 picks were receivers or something,
and you're paying $130 million,
and you're trading Devontae Adams for first-round picks.
It's not sustainable, this wide receiver.
Sign up for $40 million. Like, holy fuck.
It's not sustainable. You're going to see that fade out. It's the same thing. Running backs used to be overvalued in the 90s.
Exactly.
Late 80s, early 90s. Now the game's obviously going to a passing game, so everyone's thinking, wow, we need to get one of these stud wide receivers. But I'm a big believer that no one should get that big of a piece of a pie.
Yep.
I hate that quarterbacks do. Obviously, you need a great quarterback. I think every quarterback is overpaid.
Sure.
And I get it. You're not winning much with you look at Super Bowls in the last 20 years. I think we've done this before. All the quarterbacks that were playing were like Pro Bowl, like great quarterbacks. So you need to get a quarterback on your team. But it's like, I feel like you could get a mid-tier quarterback that's not worth $40 million a year and upgrade your team in other spots. I don't know. And then you have
your Brad Johnsons win the Super Bowl. You have your
what the fuck, Trent Dilfer,
Joe Flacco's. These are fucking guys.
I'd rather poke my eyes out than watch Joe Flacco or fucking Brad Johnson be be my quarterback.
Except for that one year where Joe Flacco was just fucking phenomenal.
Was that his Super Bowl?
That was a Super Bowl year. He was incredible throwing the deep ball.
Hit gold the 1 year.
He was like $40 million after that, and then that was the end of that guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Everybody. Go ahead, Alex.
It's supply and demand. So. That the next few years is the wide receiver bubble, and it might spill over into tight ends or whatever the next thing might be. But that's what's going to happen is teams are just going to realize, like, you know what, I can draft this guy and get a guy who has a high potential to fill in for my $10 million contract, but I only have to pay him $1 million. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
100%. So who, AJ, with you saying that, who do you think's the most overrated Dallas Cowboy?
I mean, I got to join one half of the multiverse with Nate here and say, I think Zeke, and the only reason is because I can't really think of anybody else.
Yeah.
And he is just, he's of course, he's the starting running back for Dallas Cowboys. He's had some great seasons. So he's on that, like, if you look at the pillars of who you think of or who the stars are of the Dallas Cowboys, he's definitely on there. But I think he's certainly dropped down a few rungs. And honorable mention could be CeeDee Lamb.
Wow.
You know, but I'm just saying could be. I guess
it's a make or break year. It's a make or break year for him. He's got the big boy shorts on, and it's time to.
He's got the big boy jersey.
For sure. He does, right? He's got the legacy going here.
Crack him if you got him.
Let me get it, son.
Crack him if you got him, son.
Crack him if you got him, son.
Since we're not,
where's the camera?
It's right there. Since we're not in Vegas, it's you're crack him if you got him, son. Not that crack him if you got it, baby.
Ad, who do you got for overrated?
Hang on a second. So, but before that,
give us some chat. Give us some chat talk.
I'm going to say Stephen White just said Diggs is by far, and I think he's talking about who's the most overrated player. I can't say, I mean, just hearing the amount of trash that people throw at Diggs because of the amount of yardage he gives up, I don't think he's overrated at all. Exactly.
I love me some Diggs.
We're big.
Diggs.
Did Diggs have like 7 interceptions last
11.
year? I mean, 11 interceptions. Holy fuck!
Hasn't happened in 40 years. I mean, the thing is, how can a player? Everyone calls him overrated and everyone slags on him. I think Diggs is right where he. And I would love for people to keep throwing the ball at him.
Yeah.
Because I'll let Diggs give up 100 yards. There's not, besides the Tony Pollard kickoff return, a Trevon Diggs interception touchdown is like. We go absolutely bonkers. We fucking love it. We shotgun when it happens. Like we love it. I love me some Diggs.
Yeah, and Stephen White saying they trash AB. I mean,
they do.
We've trashed AB on a couple plays, but not like I think we've all been Anthony Brown fans.
We are Anthony Brown fans, minus the Thanksgiving Day game when we were live and he had 4 PI calls.
Yeah. Hey, everyone has a bad game.
So who's your guy? Who's your most overrated?
I have those on Thanksgiving ones too.
Most overrated. You know, I have to go with the consensus. I mean, I think at least from last year, most over. And again, I can't even say he's overrated. I can't say that Zeke was an overrated player on the Cowboys. Let's because
get his stats up here.
He's overpaid.
Yeah, he's overpaid.
You know what I mean? So he's overpaid. So someone mentioned CeeDee Lamb. And not from the overrated, but I don't think even CeeDee Lamb's overrated.
So Zeke's stats here in 2021. Yeah, AJ was. Zeke's stats last year, 1,000 yards.
Sorry.
4.2 yard carry average, which that to me is a huge stat. If you're he had 237 attempts with a 4.2 average. Maybe they should have given him the ball more. Like 237 isn't that much for a starting running back.
Still almost 50 receptions for a fucking running back. I mean, Jesus Christ,
so he had
that's incredible.
He had 12 touchdowns, 12 almost 1,300 yards, a decent average, and he's a great blocker. Is he worth?
I'm just gonna.
He's a great blocker.
Sorry, I'm gonna channel.
You're gonna pee on our parade, aren't you?
Barry Grant Jr. here, and just go and look at his game stats. He did like 60 or 70% of those in the first 6 games.
He did, yeah. And it's been on record. He was playing injured after after like week 6, he was playing injured, and that's on the coaching staff. They should have sat him, especially when you have a running back like Pollard in creeping in the bushes, right? Like, why wouldn't you, if Zeke was hurt, let him sit? Especially we were saying it, you could tell Zeke was hurt going into playoffs.
Well, I mean, playoffs. There's absolutely zero reason for that to have happened. That's 150% on the coaches. Like it does, just because Zeke is getting paid what he's getting paid, it doesn't mean that he can make the call whether or not he's going to play.
They bring the noise. I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys.